Good afternoon, everyone, and good morning as well. It's 4 p.m. out there at your end, while it's 4 a.m. right here at my end. But I'm here to do my proposal presentation, and I look forward to interacting with you right after this. In compliance with the list of requirements for this presentation, I will cover the following: the rationale for this proposed study, the research problems, objectives, data gathering, and methodology. For the first part of my presentation, which is the rationale for this proposed study. The theoretical dimension of this study has significant implications to the fields of communication and education. The results of this study may lead to the creation of a more holistic instructional design framework. The applied dimension of this study may help in identifying descriptive evidence for effective course designs, effective instruction, and meaningful student learning outcomes. This study advocates for well-planned, well-aligned, well-implemented instruction that equip graduates with the manpower skills needed by the industry sector. Now for the research problem. General problem number 1. What makes instruction a highly purposeful communication? Under this general problem, the specific research questions include: 1. What makes communication an inextricable element within the process of instruction? 2. How do communication theories and educational theories work synergistically within the process of instruction? General problem number 2. What can be indicators of effective and meaningful instruction? Under this general problem, the specific research questions include: number 1, from the perspective of employers, what types of student learning outcomes are considered meaningful? Number 2, if examined under the lenses of communication and educational theories, as well as instructional design principles, what instructional design factors are possibly responsible for graduate skills gap, such as, for example, the STEM skills gap that have been identified and noted in several research literature. This proposed study have the following objectives. Number 1, to analyze the elements that make instruction a highly purposeful communication. Number 2, to underscore the inextricable communication elements within the process of instruction. Number 3, to explore how communication theories and educational theories work synergistically within the process of instruction. Number 4, to identify indicators of effective instruction through meaningful student learning outcomes, or SLOs. Number 5, to examine instructional design factors that are responsible for graduate skills gap, such as STEM skills gap. In order to achieve the objectives of this study, as well as in order to address all the research problems and questions, the following data gathering methods will be employed. For the theoretical dimension, an analytical and interpretive approach to the review of relevant literature will be used. For the applied dimension, content analysis of sample course syllabi will be had, and most likely a content analysis software such as in Vivo for coding and analysis will be utilized. Identification of the meaningful student learning outcomes from the perspective of employers will be gathered using key informant survey and or interviews. And I have here the links for easy access to the survey instruments. Let me just make a notation regarding this survey that the responses to this survey can be used simply in augmenting the theoretical dimension of my proposed study. Although there's no longer a specific research problem included regarding the academician's notion of communication within the process of instruction, my strategic plan is to create a research paper with focus on this specific dichotomized belief and make that research paper part of the literature review discussion or the analysis part of the discussion in my dissertation. However, I am confident that through this very, very short survey, I can strategically augment the collection of the course syllabi that I will be gathering from the web. So this survey refers to the study, a research paper study that aims to identify the prevailing belief or notion among academicians regarding communication within the process of instruction. And it's assuring them that their responses will be treated with confidentiality. So the first question simply asks regarding their belief. So you're going to check which one highly fits their belief. And the second one refers to how they consider communication when planning and designing their course. This is more on the instructional design part. Then the third part of this survey will simply get the background, their expertise, as well as the teaching area, and then any comment that they have regarding communication within the process of instruction or in the teaching and learning process. And then the last question is asking for their voluntary sharing of the course syllabi. So the next survey specifically focuses on the manpower skills requirements. It targets employers' notion of what really are meaningful learning outcomes among STEM graduates. So I want to look at learning outcomes. For the last part of this presentation, STEM I will simply be replaying back the methodology that I presented during my topic defense presentation. The input from the employers. What do employers really consider as meaningful student learning outcomes from the STEM college students? So this is just a very simple survey and or on the last part of this presentation. And for this part 5, which is the methodology, I will simply replay part 3 methodology in my previous topic defense presentation. As can be seen from the previous slide, this is a qualitative study with some quantitative aspects. For the sampling method, a convenience sampling will be used, which is a non-probability sampling. And this type of sampling method is used if the number of respondents would be hard to establish. This is backed up by statistical guides such as simple random sampling and other sampling methods 2017 and sampling 2016. For sample size and sampling validity, the Sloven's formula will be used. This formula is used if researchers do not have a concrete idea about the population's behavior. See Sloven's formula, what is it and when do I use it? 2012. The following formulas for the confidence level will be used. To compute for the sample size equals n over 1 plus n times the square root of e, where n is the population size and e is the margin of error. To compute for the margin of error, ME or E, a confidence level of 95% will be computed as 1 minus 95% equals 0.05 as the margin of error. A confidence level of 98%, 1 minus 0.98 will result to 0.02 as the margin of error.
Oh no, it's not goodbye yet. We still have the Q&A session. Thank you.